G'day YouTube. Warbles on a lot here. Did you know we've had 3.28 degrees of global warming here in the electorate of New England? Since the global warming naysayers among my neighbours elected Barnaby Joyce as our federal member of parliament. 3.28 degrees in only 6 years. Do you know how I know that? That would be because I've bothered to measure the temperature on a recording maximum minimum thermometer, which has been hanging on the south side of the same tree. And then because a measured observation does not become data, remaining but an anecdote unless and until somebody bothers to not only observe the thing, but also to write it down, to record it in some form of a notebook, diary, or in this case a calendar. Therefore, the temperature figures, maximum and minimum, have been written down, recorded, kept, stored, and retrieved. The maximum and the minimum figures for Decembers of 2007, 2013, 2018 and 2019 have been written down in columns, and the average figures have been calculated. And then I graphed it all. And the first attempt sadly revealed such a noisy pattern. It was kind of difficult to make any sense out of it at first glance, or even at the 27th glance. However, those are the average figures over the 12 years. That's the important and interesting bit. But in an effort to try and make it somewhat more comprehensible at a glance, for your better edification, I'm redrawing it. Now, yeah, there's some liquid paper there, and that makes it a bit difficult to see the actual sawtooth running along the line of the maximum temperatures. But what we're interested in this graph is the average temperatures. And I've run a 17.95 degrees Celsius line connecting the days which actually touched average for the month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days during the month which actually achieved the average temperature of the month. 17.95 degrees, December 2007. Okay, so in blue we have December 2013, 6 years down the track. So far I've only plotted the maximums. So dotted line for dotted line. Yeah, 35 degrees there. Yep, 35 degrees. Versus, what have we got? 27 degrees. December's maximum to December's maximum. 27 to 35. 8 degrees of difference in the maximum temperature over a 6-year period. One thing that I do find interesting is this peak, and then a trough, and then another peak, and that's 17th, 18th. Well, 21st, 22nd is the summer solstice. So yeah, 3-4 days before the summer solstice, for some reason, we get a coincidental dropping in temperatures. Look at the average and the minimum temperatures as well. Wonder why we get a chill just before the summer solstice. So we'll stick the average on. Okay, so now we've got the average for 2007 in green and the average for 2013 in blue. And the kind of interesting thing is this stretch in here, the average temperature for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. For 10 days of 2013, the average temperature was above the highest temperature for 2007. For 10 days, the average temperature in 2013's December was higher than the highest temperature for the same day going back 6 years. Once we plot the minimum temperatures for 2013, we can see that even though 14 days of December 2013 had lower minimum temperatures than there were in 2007, the average temperature has gone up 1.78 degrees over 6 years, which is 0.285 degrees Celsius temperature increase on average per year for December, measured here. 0.285 of a degree Celsius per year increase. That's what we averaged over those 6 years. So now let's have a look at 2018. The first 5 years of Barnabyism. Okay, 12 days in 2018 where the maximum temperature was higher than that of 2013. There we see the black solid line for the average temperatures. And now I'll draw in the minimum temperatures in black, dashed line. There we see the minimum temperatures for the month. And yeah, 20.5 degrees versus 19.66 versus 17.95. 2.55 degrees warmer. Monthly average. Divided by 11 years, 0.23 of a degree per year. And then there was 2019. Let's just graph that over the top, shall we? But before I do that, allow me to note that there were 17 days in 2018 where the average temperature was above that of 2013. And the trend is definitely upward. 21 days where the maximum temperature in 2019 was higher than it was in 2018. Oh, what a trend then. There in the solid red is a connection of the daily average temperatures. And I make it there were 4 days in December 2019 where the average temperature was higher than the previous highest temperature for that day in December in 2018, 2013 or 2007. 4 days where the average temperature was higher on that day in 2019 than the highest temperature for that day had previously been recorded. So now we'll put in the 2019 minimum temperatures. Okay, And I make it that there's one day in 2019 where the minimum temperature was higher than the average temperature for 2013, and another day where it was equal. And that red line horizontally along there, that's the average temperature for 2019, 22.94 degrees, up from 17.95 degrees way back in 2007. So we've had 4.99 degrees of global warming here in Barnaby Joyce's electorate, and 3.28 degrees of it has happened in the 6 years since he came to power. And 2.44 degrees of it was between 2018 and 2019. Tipping point, oh tipping point. Tipping point, it's been and it's gone. Tipping point, oh tipping point. Tipping point, oh tipping point. Tipping point. How fucked are we now? 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 We're really fucked now. Thanks, Barnaby. Thanks, Liberal Party. Thanks, National Party. Thanks, Labor Party. Thanks, One Nationites. Thanks, Hunters, Shooters, Fishers. Thanks, Clive Palmerites. 4.99 degrees of global warming in 12 years. Wouldn't it have been nice if 40 years ago the Greens had won at the elections and we'd done something about our carbon emissions? If we'd done that, we wouldn't be really fucked now. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Reality awareness therapy. Enjoy it. Ciao.